As I said, Conrad was the middle child in the family, just older than Marshall, and he was an amazing kid, very determined, and he could quote Shakespeare to you, or diagnose your sick fish, or fix your crashed computer, and he wanted to be a donor. Also, he was just as fanatic about jazz basketball as his younger brother Marshall. Then, unexpectedly, on a gray, rainy day not far from here in 1998, when Conrad was 17 years old and Marshall was 14, Conrad died from a brain injury and became an organ donor. His younger brother Marshall poured his anguish out into a new song that he wrote, and when it burst through his broken heart and rained tears, it drenched his entire pillow and bed sheets. In his anguish, he wrote what many of us, and certainly all of our family, felt. As he said, "And when we talked and when we fought, I never thought that you'd be gone. I never got to say goodbye." A couple of years later, the younger son, was in our front yard, and he was playing basketball, of course, with his friends, and an attractive young woman got out of her car and greeted him warmly as she walked to our door. Marshall's friends, his teenage friends, were very impressed. And to punctuate his own personal enjoyment of how impressed they were and the attention he was getting, he decided to make the most of it. And he pointed to her and he said, "See that girl? That girl has my brother's heart in her. Think about it." And that's what we all are here today for, is we want everyone to think about the miracle and wonder of organ, eye, and tissue donation. Conrad thought about it, and he wanted to be a donor, and he was able to give his heart, his liver, his kidneys, his pancreas, his corneas, his bones, his skin, and many other tissues so that others would live or be able to live a better life. And then somehow the years continued to go on after we lost our Conrad. Marshall became an adult, and by the end of 2011, at the age of 27, Marshall felt like he had it all. He had a dynamic job, a degree in the works, and best of all, he had married his soulmate, and they had an incredible little baby boy that was 7 months old, a little mini Marshall, full of vim and vinegar, as my mom would say. And Marshall was a donor. He was registered on Yes Utah. It was marked on his driver's license, and every few weeks he would be called to donate blood and platelets. And they would often say, "We have a little boy here at Primary Children's that needs your specific blood type." And he used to laugh and say, "Maybe they're just saying that to me so I'll come in," but he would have gone in anyway. So he was having a great year and things were going well for him. But after the beginning of January, actually January 2nd, 2012, Marshall and our lives changed. Soon he would make the transition from donor to recipient. The simple blood test he took was innocuous, but the results were life-shattering. Marshall did indeed have it all. Only now, all was spelled in dark, bold, capital letters. His life became engulfed by an acronym, ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. After countless blood and platelet transfusions, 2 stem cells transplants, thank you, stem cell donors and blood donors, and a few experimental therapies, Marshall's journey ended in November of 2015. We miss our Marshall and our Conrad terribly, but we continue to be surrounded, as I am today, by the wonder and the miracle of organ, eye, and tissue donation. To be a donor and a recipient family helps us remember how fragile and precious life really is. I want to leave you with the words of another song written by Conrad's brother Marshall, this time composed in a hospital room in another state while he was enduring yet another experimental treatment. He'd not been able to come to Utah to attend a fundraising event given in his behalf, but he'd been able to watch Music for Marshall from his hospital room via the internet. Overcome with gratitude, he wrote this song called Miles to Give, which you can actually find on iTunes. And here's a few words from it. And I feel this today looking at all of you. Last night, I witnessed love and charity. I wondered how I would return the love I had received. I found it's not a debt I'm to repay, but rather how I choose to live each coming day. In this life, we all have troubled times. Don't give up, be strong, just keep on trying. Give thanks for every breath that lets you live, and find within yourself that you have miles to give. Because of Conrad, I am blessed, and my family is blessed to feel the reassurance and the comfort of being a donor family. It's such a great experience of joy when you're going through something like that. Because of Marshall, we understand the deep, unpayable gratitude recipients feel. And because of both of them, I am privileged to know incredible people like Amy Wilcox. Amy amazes me every single moment of every day. She exemplifies what Marshall said in that song, that you just don't give up, you just keep on trying. And to take kind of a hint from Marshall and what he said about this other young woman, I'm going to say to you, see this beautiful woman up here? She has my son's kidney in here. Think about it.